From what I've read, there are like over 1 million people that visit the Little Saigon area of Orange County here over a year. Over 1 million people coming by. When we go down, we see not just non-Vietnamese, but there's a lot of Vietnamese that's not from Orange County coming here to visit as well. Every time I have guests coming to Orange County to visit, they want to visit the Little Saigon area. They want to visit where the food are at because the food here is more authentic, costs a lot cheaper than anywhere else in the country. And the hospitality, the food, the sense of community here is larger because there's a lot more Vietnamese. So when you sit down, you talk, you can hear people talking in Vietnamese. You can see people playing Chinese checker or Chinese chess. You can see people having fun, just like in Vietnam. And there's street food as well. There's camaraderie of it as well. There's this sense of community and belonging. And I think wherever we went, that's what we yearn for. So we yearn to be connected, and we want to be connected to our roots. And that's the strength of our Vietnamese community because we're community oriented. From a non-Vietnamese perspective, when it comes to Orange County, they see the richness. They see there's a lot of community interaction. There's a lot of food. Because every time someone comes to visit, who are not Vietnamese, we're serving them food. We're making sure that they eat, they don't leave the house empty. And even though they are full, we're still serving them more food. Because hospitality, food is equated to hospitality. The other aspect is that we have so many different places to celebrate our culture. We have the Date Festival that's organized and hosted by UVSA for over 30 years now. And there's more other organizations that's building that. There's Parade. We have upcoming is April 30th, Black April. We have different activities to commemorate our journey. And there's a group of us who wants to rewrite the narrative of April 30th. In the past and still today, April 30th is still looked at as a day for mourning. It's still a day of grief. It's still a day where people still think of the past. And oftentimes for people who have moved beyond the past, that's fine. There are people who are not able to move beyond the past, who are still living with post-traumatic stress disorder, who are still living with a lot of condition that's keeping them stuck in the past. April 30th become a trigger point. And it brings them back with flashback, we traumatize them. And it's not conducive for healing. And so there's a group of us who are trying to start this movement on April 30th where it's a day of serving. It's a day of celebration. Because yes, on April 30th with the fall of Saigon, over 1 million of Vietnamese people who fled Vietnam, a lot died in the sea along the process, and we have broken family, lost home, lost asset, a lot of grief and loss. But since April 30th, 1975, there has been a lot of progress. There has been a lot of reason to celebrate within the Vietnamese community. We have Vietnamese communities who are working for NASA, who are engineers, who are in the celebrities, who are in every aspect in this country. We're integrated, we are contributing, right? I am one of the first Vietnamese clinicians that's focused on suicide in the country. I was the only Vietnamese clinicians in the state of Illinois when I was a clinician over there. I'm able to bring on mental health and destigmatize and talk about it. That's a reason to celebrate. It's a reason that we are not stuck in the past. We are moving forward with the opportunity that we have right now. And this country has given us so much opportunity. And I think that's where the richness of where the new generation or the next generations of Vietnamese is trying to do. And there are, right now, the challenge within the Vietnamese community is that there is the first generations, and then there are those within the first generations who's hanging on to the past and not able to acculturate and work with the opportunity that we have today. They are still the generation that long to go back to Vietnam, right? One day Vietnam will be free, I can go back to Vietnam and live freely, right? And then there's a generation of the younger generations who say, forget the past, only focus on the present and the future. Both approaches, in my personal opinion, is unhealthy because we need to integrate. We cannot move forward without being connected to our roots. We cannot give up or dismiss where we came from. We have to learn from our past, learn from our history, and embrace the richness of our forefather. Embrace the richness of our culture. Right? Every culture, there are bad things, but every culture, there's also good things. So if we, as the saying goes, if we throw the baby out with the bathwater, we pretty much wasted all that effort, and now we have to reinvent the wheel. So if we take the richness that's within the Vietnamese culture and take the richness, not with just because when we term American culture, that's very difficult to define, because American culture is not a salad bowl, right? It's a mosaic of all the different culture. It comes together. But there are richness in every culture within our community that we can adapt. Because as a survival, as an evolution of humanity, we want to maintain what is good and healthy for us to move forward. And we should be able to take an honest look at ourselves and our community and our processes to be able to identify what is unhealthy and be able to discard it, so that we don't continue to carry that baggages, that unhealthy behavior, the unhealthy cultural practices to the future. And as to build a better community, I think that's where we need to go.